Hey, welcome back to Big Condo Radio. And I'm really excited because we just started trying a new experiment. Last time we talked to a friend of mine from New York, a producer named Dan Halperin, and it was under the Essentials podcast, right? And then we ended up talking about, what's been going on in the world today. And I thought, I know a couple of people that are around the world. And so that might be interesting for the audience to kind of like get the perspective of this pandemic that is hitting all of us and everything and get a view from around the world. So today I'm joined by another good friend. I'm pretty sure a lot of people that I know would love to hear about from this man. His name is Nigel Goodwin, and he's all the way down under in Australia. So Nigel, welcome to Big Condo Radio.
Hey, thank you very much. It's really good to be here. Great to be back. And
All right,
good day from
don't wave the
Australia.
flag, bro. Don't wave the flag. You know you're English.
You know I can't resist it.
Nigel, first of all, it's fantastic to see you. Let me just let our audience know that because Nigel is 12 hours ahead of us, he can't give us any lotto numbers, but there might be some sticking problems during this video, So if it does freeze, we do understand that might occur. And we're working our best to endeavor that it doesn't. So I just wanted to give that warning ahead of time. But also, first thing I have to say is, Nigel, why blonde?
I'm an
What's
actor,
happening, bro?
Chase. I'm
You're
an
getting
actor.
younger.
My hair color changes all the time according to whatever part I'm playing. It's like, as you know, the hair
Oh,
length changes as well. Sometimes there's a beard, sometimes there's no beard. I'm so used to this now. It's just like a normal part of life for me.
is it? Is it? Well, you know what? I got to tell you, it does look good. And I've seen
Ah.
Nigel in all stages of homelessness. I'm talking about Nigel's had long hair, he had scraggly beard. He
Oh
was,
yeah.
Back
but
off.
that shows you because first of all, first and foremost, Nigel is an actor, aren't you, Nigel?
That's right. That's right. Absolutely love it.
And you just told me before this crisis hit, you were just finishing off your latest play. You wanted to give a little plug to the latest play that you just did down. And where down under are you, by the way?
I'm in Perth in Western Australia. And so we just did a play. We did a Shakespeare play at the University of Western Australia. They've got a beautiful outdoor theatre there. And we did a 2 week run. And we literally finished just about 2 or 3 days before the theatres all closed because of the virus outbreak. So we were kind of lucky there. We just got in.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like it's really strange because, you know, um, we've heard about, something happening. We joked about something happening. Conspiracy theorists, Nigel's been on with me, or don't get me started. But like the thing about it is that whatever it is, it's here, and
Yeah.
and people have had that stoppage. Are you guys? I think you said you are within your particular lockdown at this moment.
Yeah, it's
Or
this.
not yet?
Yeah, we are. It's pretty much the same here as it is for you. There's like in various different places around the world. There's like only a 2 or 3 day difference in what's been closed and what's been stopped. But pretty much we're the same as you guys. So the restaurants and bars have just closed. The universities have closed. The schools are still open, but there's talk that they might be closing soon. Public gatherings of more than a few hundred people are not allowed. Bondi Beach just closed because there was too many people partying on the beach.
And
Over
that's
here on
supposed
the
to be a
west
big
coast,
famous beach down there, isn't it?
yeah, that's over on the east coast. That's one of Sydney's beaches. But over here on the west coast in Western Australia, the beaches are still open. But if people are flouting the rules too much, then they might get closed down too. So there's just no telling what's going to happen next.
We've had these I wouldn't say arguments or disagreements, but I get it wrong sometimes. Um, I was trying to tell you that we're just about to start our spring break season. So, the kids, because of the virus and the age range of it, whatever, the kids, it's kind of like a Logan's Runs disease. So the kids are like, what do you mean we can't go to the beach? What do you mean we can't party and all this kind of stuff? But you were telling me that you guys have finished your summer season, you moved into autumn. Is that
Yeah, that's
right?
right. The seasons are reversed in Australia, so the summer's just coming to an end now, and we're moving into autumn. But also the school year and the academic year, they're totally different as well. So their main the long break is in the middle of the Australian summer, so that's like kind of December, January time, and then they tend to go back around February. So the school year, the academic year in Australia, totally disrupted now. Everything's just been blown out of the water. So the
Yeah.
universities are trying to take their courses online. I know a student nurse over here who's I think she's in the final year now, and she's had to go completely online now. All the practical work has stopped, all the lectures have stopped. And for the schools, as I say, they're still open at the moment, but it's only a matter of probably days now until they make a decision to pull that.
Well, it's closed over here, bro. So I mean,
Yeah.
it's crazy. So I mean, like, what do you think the general state of people are? I mean, did they start out dismissive and now they're like, uh oh, because like what we've been dealing with here is that it's only going to be for another 2 weeks, or it's going to be for 18 months, right? So somewhere in
Yeah.
between, people are praying that somewhere in between, but closer over to here, right?
Yeah.
How is it over
Yeah.
there?
Exactly the same. It started off as just like it was a news story that there's this new virus emerged in China. It might be a problem, but it shouldn't. We're not too worried about it. Then there was like a couple of cases popped up in Australia, and thinking, oh well, bit of an issue, but probably not a big deal. And then the news story has just literally been changing day by day, and they're taking it more and more seriously until it's. And now we're talking about this shutdown. We've come to terms with the fact that it's going to be for months.
Wow. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's just crazy because like we've seen all the disaster films. We've seen the crazies. We've seen the guys in the hazmat suits and stuff like that. But what we've never had in a movie is the power of the internet. And I was
Mm.
explaining to you how media can't be stopped. And now everything's moving to podcasting and online and stuff like that. I mean, like, is that like how it is for you guys down there? I mean, do you have like people taking to the internet and putting on shows like this?
Yeah, very much so, very much so. Because I work as an actor, we've and all the shows are off now. The film production's been shut down.
Yeah.
There's no more theatre, so actors are now taking to the internet. And there's all kinds of little there's YouTube channels popping up all over the place now where they invite people to record monologues or like duologues over Skype, kind of like what we're doing now, and performing pieces to camera just to keep our acting skills up to scratch, so we can keep going during this lockdown, so that when eventually we do come out of the other side of this, we're still at the skills level where we need to be, and we can just dive straight back into it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you probably remember Make It Right, productions when you were still over here. I'm not sure, but yeah, that's what they were talking about is maybe creating some monologues and stuff to camera. Everybody's trying to figure out a different way of utilizing the net and stuff. But yeah, no, it's crazy. But do you
Well,
think that like
what encourages me about this is that creative people always find a way. There's
yeah,
so
the
many ideas
resilience?
flying around. People are doing all kinds of things now. These things are, you see all these memes that are flying around of people doing exercises in their house and doing all this crazy stuff and singing from their balconies. And you just cannot kill the human spirit. Just keeps going no matter what, no matter how bad it gets. We just somehow find a way and keep
Yeah.
going.
No, exactly. Like I heard in America, because the movie theaters are shut down and everywhere and stuff, that now there's a rise in the drive-in theater and stuff. Because you can still
Oh yeah,
socially distance from your car, but still watch
yeah.
movies with other people. I mean, do they have drive-ins down there?
They have a lot of outdoor cinemas, but of course they're just like walking. But most of them are closed. Um, Off the top of my head, I can't think of a drive-in cinema. I'm sure there has been one in the not too distant past, but
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
is
Well, yeah.
Australia, of course, being an outdoor lifestyle country. Then I know there has been drive-in cinemas. I don't know if that's something that they should maybe look at rekindling now, because here's the
Yeah.
opportunity.
Well, I'm hoping that I stayed enough that Liverpool does that, because we had like a one like experimental driving down by Costco's and everything,
Yeah,
and
I saw it. I
and I
saw
want
it.
to
It
be the
looked.
one who said it. I
It
said
looked
it, and
Last time I
and
saw
then
it, it was like a derelict wasteland. They need to get that up and running again.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So speaking of that, you're from Liverpool and everything like that, and you've been now down in Aussie, Australia for I
two
hate to
years.
gather guess. How
It's
long?
2 years.
2 years and stuff.
Yeah.
Loving it? You loving life down there?
It's great, yeah, yeah. It's well, it was until all this crap happened, but
Yeah.
apart from that, yeah, it's a good lifestyle, and the creative community is really vibrant here in Perth. There's lots of friendly actors around,
So
lots,
you found your pack.
yeah, yeah. I mean, that was always the plan. I joined up with the local Facebook groups for the actors and the creatives even before I arrived.
Yeah.
That was all always part of the plan. So as soon as I got here, I just hit the ground running and started getting involved in shows and productions and things. And I've done a whole lot
Yeah.
of student films, and yeah, it's been a really busy time.
So let's talk a little bit about that because I mean, like obviously, as an actor, you enjoyed acting, and that's how we first met. Like, gotta guess, what about like 5, 6 years ago, or was it longer
Yeah,
than?
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, about that. Anyway, but like what it was I thought was really great is like people I always say yeah nobody does it like a Nigel Goodwin because you actually said to yourself, from my perspective, you said to yourself, look, man, I could do more than acting, so I'm going to choose to learn these different skills. And you did. You hit the ground running, and like you started directing, camera operation, editing, sound,
Mhm.
and then you went off to Australia and you left. But so it's like, how did those skills work in helping you where you are now?
They have been absolutely invaluable. It has been so, so good. I've been involved in groups where they bring directors and actors together, and we will all learn from each other. I've made a couple of music videos since I've been here. Various little short films, and it's been so good to have the knowledge that I gained in Liverpool has been absolutely wonderful to transfer over here. And as soon as you when you get involved in a project, whatever needs doing, if you've got a broad set of skills, you can slot into wherever you're needed within that project. You know what I mean?
You're like Liam Neeson. You got a particular set of skills and stuff. So which one do you enjoy most? So out of all of those multiple skills, because I keep telling people that media is not just one thing.
Mm.
And especially like actors, they shouldn't just. I mean, what advice would you give in that sense? But first, what do you think is your favorite skill that you developed?
It's probably still my acting, but it's been informed very much by the other skills that I've got because now I know what a director wants. Because having done directing myself, it
Yeah.
makes me a better actor. And now that I know what the editor wants, it helps me to create the content that that's easier for the editor to work with. And so, and then I'm still doing bits of writing as well, and the camera work, of course, has been tremendous. So all these things kind of feed off each other. They all each one enhances the other. So it's like I'm just constantly improving my game in all these different things.
So as a freelance actor, isn't that the advice you would give? Is the factor of because it's no point in going, how come I didn't get that job, or what could I have done better, as opposed to learning how those things that you just said, editing, directing, and all that. How important is that?
It's vitally important. I think an actor needs to know at least something about the whole process. So whenever I'm on a film set or taking part in some kind of project, I'm not just acting, not just doing my own thing, but I'm watching what everybody else is doing. I'm watching what the director's doing. I'm listening to them, the crew all talking to each other and working out what they want. And it's just such an invaluable learning process. It's wonderful to be a part of.
Yeah. So I mean, like, as far as like, when you said that you had a play coming, yeah, and that shut down, and you were going to do something that shut down. I mean, what do you think is going? What do you have coming up that hasn't been shut down?
Um, Good question. I've signed up for another actors directors course. We've had no word about that, whether that's going to be shut down. I wouldn't be surprised if it does happen, but I'm going to be blunt and say it's no excuse. This is a time for us to be consolidating our skills, improving still further, learning from each other over Skype chats and internet. And there's so many Facebook groups out there now. We can carry on working on monologues. We can just keep at it. Even this shutdown is not going to stop us. The really creative, enthusiastic people are going to keep going through this.
No, exactly. I mean, it's kind of interesting because I mean, you must feel this as well. Is that we are actually a tactile people, so this social distancing must be really difficult. So even though you're recommending that, people, go on the internet and further their communication and stuff, it must be really hard to not be, in contact with people.
It makes a difference, certainly. I mean, acting is a very physical thing, and when you're in an actor's workshop, there's a lot of physical contact, and acting is a very it's very much about. They say the essence of drama is two people in a room suffering, but now we can't even be in the same room suffering. So, you know what I mean? So, but it's when I first started learning acting, I was taking exams where we were basically delivering monologues to the examiner. And so this is just the same kind of thing, where we can still, if you can do a monologue, you can do a duologue. And if you can do a duologue, you can work with a group. So it's all different subsets of the same set of skills, really. It's just a question of just keeping going in a more challenging environment.
Yeah, yeah. No, no, exactly. I mean, like, I was thinking, like, a lot of, I was thinking retro, right? You're a retro man. And I was thinking, like, I had to talk to a client and like, and she asked me for my phone number. I was like, my phone number? I don't even know my own phone number.
Yeah.
Right? But, and then, when I talked to somebody else and they told me about the drive-ins and stuff like that, it's like, this seems to be like really, when we talk about this as a new normal, what other things do you think are going to come back? Do you think that this is going to actually bring communication back, or like you just said about people who are very resilient in the way of how they are dealing with things? What other things do you think that people can do or will do?
Well, these trends have always come and gone. Do you remember back in the 1970s there was a trend for split screen in movies? They would
Yeah,
they would they would split the screen up and have the two actors on the different parts of the screen. That's
yeah,
what we're doing right now. We're doing it right now as we speak, and I
yeah.
think that's going to make a big comeback now because splitting up the screen and having different people talking on the same screen at the same time, even though they're in totally different parts of the world,
Mm,
this is now the thing. And you can be now that we're in lockdown, you might have to do the same thing with your neighbor in the same street. There's,
mm.
there's people here in Perth that I can't get in
It's
touch
like
with
the boy in
because
a plastic bubble.
yeah, exactly. But the technology is our friend. It's here to help us now, and we can make the best use of it. Think back to people are comparing this to wartime. Like in the war when everything was shut down and they couldn't go to the theater and everything. But they didn't have all this technology we've got now. We are really spoilt. We're lucky to have all the things we've got now.
Yeah. Well, no, no, no. I mean, no. That is indeed true. I mean, I was just thinking, like, what happens when we get used to it this way? You know what I mean? It's kind of like it's like that was like the fear of like 3D conferencing. I remember when 3D conferencing came out, and people were like, "Oh, I actually don't have to go to work because I could go to that meeting, and you can just put me on your laptop or tablet on the desk, and I could
Yeah,
just be here in my kitchen." And I could still be there present at the meeting,
yeah.
But we're setting the world up for that kind of scenario here. Do you know what I mean?
I guess so. Well, we've been doing it for a long time. Skype chats, video chats. These have been going for years now. So this is actually not a huge leap. Now that we're having
Uh,
to, now that we're forced into doing it, it's not been such a drastic thing because we're so used to it already.
yeah. No, 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 exactly. I mean, like, but either way, it's just that, like, we were talking about kind of like what's going on. It doesn't sound like too much of a panic, yeah, and everything like that, But I do have to kind of like drop a little dime a little bit because, we used to do, don't get me started. Yeah, we used to kind of like have
The
fun.
conspiracy theories, yeah.
Yeah, and I remember you killed the show.
What? Don't blame me. What did I do?
Well, you
I
tried
didn't
to
do that.
you pointed out your Aussie facts to me about Chase. If I'm over here and I see the moon or something like that, and it's 10 hours, and then you're over there, or something like that. I don't know. It has something to do with the moon and time.
Right, yeah, time zones basically blew the. It was
Yeah, the time zone.
to touch on it very, very briefly. We were talking about the whole flat Earth thing, and the whole, which still makes me laugh to this day because the absolute proof of it, the fact that I'm in Australia and you're over there. When I look up in the night sky, the moon and the stars are upside down, which proves that I am the other way up to where you are. So I have to be on the other side of a globe.
Did that prove that? Okay. Anyway, that's not where I was going.
Okay, let's not go there today.
Well, don't get me started. I was talking about like do you or have people been throwing out conspiracy theories around what's going on, like the virus and all that kind of stuff?
I've heard of the conspiracy theories. I mean, I've not looked too deeply into them, but you hear about all this like it's some kind of war, some kind of what do you call it, like a weaponized microbe developed by, and then you can insert whoever you don't like. It was developed by the Russians. It was developed by the Americans. It was developed by the Chinese. It was developed by Chase. It was. It could be. But you know what I mean? These conspiracy theories are flying around, as they always do in a situation like this. I don't pay too much attention to it because, it's basically, it's just another virus that's be bigger than the last ones.
Yeah, I mean, because whatever it is, it's where we are.
Yeah.
I mean, and everything like that, and I think because we're in the middle of it, it's not as fun as, say, flat Earth theories, where you can just kind of like, have a little, argument and discussion around it and stuff until somebody throws out your theory when you called in from Australia. I could always say, you don't know nothing. But then we actually sit there going, but it's it.
And I sent you the pictures to prove it. But I mean, all joking aside, the flat Earth theory never killed anybody, but this virus is killing people. So
exactly. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's kind of like the main thing about it is that it's a real reality, and people are being affected by it, and all we could really do is add our support to people, especially even to people who are not physically affected by the virus, but they're affected by the aura of it. Because like I myself have a small business. There's a lot of people who have small businesses. There's always the thing about people living from check to check, and everything like that. So with all these stoppage of businesses or the workflow, it is a terrible time that we're all in. So just today, this very day was actually when the queues started forming outside the Australian equivalent of the job centre. With people trying to get the help from the government now. It's because a lot of businesses are going to the wall. So how helpful is the government being over there?
How what? Sorry.
How helpful is the government being over there in Australia?
They're helping now, but it's a lot of people are saying it's kind of too little, too late. They keep throwing all these ideas around, throwing these initiatives at it, and but basically it's just going to be horrible for the next few months, and people are now resigned to the fact that the economy's tanked, the unemployment's going to skyrocket. It's just going to be a horrible few months, and we've just got to get through it.
Yeah. I mean, but the thing about it is that, reason why I said how is the government reacting over there is because at least like here in England, there's been several different, support initiatives. They've been like, stopping late fees and supporting HMRC and all that other kind of stuff. I think that's because England is that kind of society anyway. You hear in America that they're supposedly doing the same thing over there, which is a surprise. But so you got all of that happening. So that's why it was curious with you over there in Australia is how the government kind of like reacting. Are they reacting to support the people or what?
They are, yes, they are. They're doing. Well, they're doing the best they can, but it's like every government around the world is like just grappling with this from day to day. The initiative that the UK government just came out with to pay 80% of everybody's wages. That's something that's being that idea is being thrown around in Australia now, and that's kind of got the politicians on the run. They're going, well, what? What, you want us to pay people's wages? What? So that's kind of got them on the back foot now. It's like,
I'm like saying,
oh,
pay wages, you're not doing any work. What do you mean?
and especially because the population of Australia is so much smaller than the population of the UK. It's something that they could conceivably do. So pull your finger out, guys.
I don't know. Sounds like a plan to me. That's all I can say. Well, I mean, like, we come down to a close now, Nigel. With this window of opportunity and everything like that. Anything you want to say to people here in Liverpool? Maybe some of your old mates that and stuff like that.
Yeah, hi guys, how are you? It's do you know what? I was actually planning. We'd actually planned to come back to the UK this year for a visit,
Oh
but
wow.
but that's all blown out of the water now. We can't do that. So we were going to come back in June, but there's no way we can do that now. So that's all
Wow.
postponed, and hopefully we'll be coming back next year instead. But in the meantime, hi everybody, and it's I miss you all, and it's really really good to talk to you. And same as with everywhere, just hang in there, and we'll all get through this. But make use of the technology. We can all talk to each other across the world now. It's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, no, and I mean, I totally enjoyed this conversation with you, Nigel. And I think people will be glad to see your shining face and your blonde hair, and
Yay!
because it's all good, it's all good. You look younger, man. You moved back in time for a person who doesn't believe it. But no, I just thank you, Nigel, for having this conversation with us. We're thinking about calling this big condo worldwide, and everything like
Yeah, yeah,
that,
yeah.
and everything like that. So I just want to just say thank you, Nigel Goodwin. I'm Chase Johnson Lynch. You've been listening to Big Condo Radio, and this has been one of a series of international conversations. And we have just talked with a man from Perth, Australia, and everything like that. Originally from Liverpool, you know what I mean. All right, don't break up my bro. But thank you again, Nigel. Yeah. So
My
Blake,
pleasure.
take
It's
us out of
been
here.
fun.
All right.